Hello, BookTube. I have complained about this chair before, and after the last video, all my volumes ended up on the floor when I moved. And none of them were damaged, so we had mentioned that the Edgar Rice Burroughs and the Heinlein being in these omnibus hardcover editions was better than having them the way I used to have them, beat up old paperbacks, and they all came out fine. So, minor accident. And the book's no big deal. So it is Bookcase 17, shelf number 2, part 2. Again, more science fiction. And let's get right to it. And we'll try to make it, splitting up these shelves is to make these shorter tours. So hopefully if I don't keep yabbering on, we'll get to what we need. The lighting hasn't been great either. So this is Isaac Asimov, Prelude to Foundation. For those of you who know the Foundation series. This is a Foundation book, Doubleday, New York, 1988. And this one is a, it's a first edition. And let's just read a little bit of this when we have a little time. Wit, wisdom, and an uncanny sense of wonder have become the best-selling trademarks of Grandmaster Isaac Asimov. And he would have told you the same himself. Each of his work has marked a new milestone in science fiction literature. But none has shaped the very future of science fiction more than his Foundation series, beginning with the phenomenal Foundation and continuing with Foundation and Empire, Second Foundation, Foundation's Edge, and Foundation and Earth. This monumental and classic saga has already sold well over 6 million copies. Well, we're not interested in the selling, but this is, his name is legend, Harry Seldon, father of the Foundation. Now his creator, Isaac Asimov, takes us back to the beginning, before psychohistory changed the face of an empire. So I was always a big fan. And this, in one volume, is the Foundation Trilogy. And this Michael Whalen cover, which is a reprint of the paperback had. Let's see here. The original came out 50, Foundation came out in 51, Foundation Empire 52, Second Foundation 53. This is the title page inside the book. Sort of starts out like this. So Harry Seldon uses a mathematical system to figure out the arc of history. The editor, John W. Campbell, Asimov, get together, and in conversation, I guess what happened was Asimov wanted to do something based sort of on Gibbon's Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, but do a future history, same type of thing. So it's a lovely little design here. So there we have the Foundation Trilogy. Then here's an older volume, Isaac Asimov, the robot novels, The Caves of Steel and the Naked Sun by Doubleday. I like that robot. And then, let's see, Doubleday and Company. So Caves of Steel came out in 53 and 54, and Naked Sun was 57. Let's see here. Caves of Steel and Naked Sun. These are celebrated robot novels that portray the matchless adventures of police detective Elijah Bailey, and both are a tribute to the skill and imagination which place Isaac Asimov among the all-time greats of sci-fi. And then we have Isaac Asimov, the Robots of Dawn, the new Elijah Bailey robot novel. It's not so new now, but was when I got it. And this is, if I can get the page to turn here, copyright 1983 by Nightfall Incorporated. The Nightfall was Asimov's famous short story. This is a book club edition. A puzzling case of roboticide takes interplanetary detective Elijah Bailey from Earth to the planet Aurora, the stealth-styled world of the dawn, where humans and robot coexist in seemingly perfect harmony. So, Robots of Dawn. And I'm doing it again, losing these books. Then I have here Asimov's Galaxy, Reflections on Science Fiction by Isaac Asimov. Sorry about the glare. This is Doubleday, and it was published in January 1989, first edition. So we have science fiction in general, science fiction writing. Each of these have lots of articles. Science fiction writers, science fiction and fantasy, science fiction magazines, science fiction and I. So, another Asimov. Then we'll move into some Frank Herbert. So here we have, it's Putnam, but it looks like a book club edition. Actually, you can tell. Yeah, it is. Frank Herbert's Dune Messiah. There he is working. G.P. Putnams Sons, New York, 1969. Shorter version of this book appeared in Galaxy magazine. So those of you that are into the Dune stories, like I am, I love them. Then we have sort of a beat-up old copy of God Emperor of Dune. See that face in the... This is again G.P. Putnam and Sons, 1981. I read the Foundation series before, and this is driving me crazy. Before I read Dune, I like the Foundation, but Dune to me is probably the best, my favorite of all the science fiction. So here we have Heretics of Dune. No, let me see. Here we go. This is G.B. Putnam Sons, New York, and this is 1984, and this is the first edition. So as these came out, I was very excited each time a new one would come out. We're going to do this in some sort of order here. So then we have ones, I have some paperbacks, but I have one hardbound of the Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson volumes and the Mentats of Dune. These are different just because they're by, by different people, but no matter what the connection is. And I tend to enjoy them just fine. I don't expect them to be on the level of the originals, but they are entertaining, and I enjoy them. So moving on from Dune, we'll get into some Anne McCaffrey. Right now I'm doing a buddy read on the original trilogy of the Dragon Riders of Pern with Elena Macrodina, a wonderful booktuber. And I do have some of these other, I had some paperbacks of those, but I have some of these other volumes. So Anne McCaffrey, Kilashandra, a new Crystal Singer novel. And this was a Del Rey Books, Ballantine Books, New York. It's a first edition and first printing of 1985. Let me see, it's got a picture of Anne McCaffrey right there. And then, these all fell on me. This is why I'm reaching behind me like this. This is Anne McCaffrey's The Renegades of Pern. And this came out in a Del Rey book, Ballantine Books, New York. And this is the first edition, first printing of 1989. I got a cat over there tearing up something. And then this is Dragon's Dawn by Anne McCaffrey. I'll get the end paper map here. Pern at the time of the landing. So Del Rey Books, Ballantyne's Books, New York. First edition, November 1988, first printing. So there's that. And what else do we have here? Oh, okay. Anne McCaffrey, Dragon's Eye. This feels like a book club. Yeah, it is a book club. And this came out in 1997, Del Rey, Ballantine Books. But like I said, this is a book club edition. Here's a map of Pern. Always handy to have. So the second pass of the Red Star is imminent, and once more the dreaded thread will fall. An all-new Dragon Riders of Pern novel. You see these folks down there. And so that's that. Then I have a single volume. I just found it the other day. I read this ages ago, and I really enjoyed them. The first volume in the series, maybe less than some of the others, but it was fine. And that was Stephen R. Donaldson's The Chronicles of Thomas Covenant, the Unbeliever. And this is the Ill Earth War. And I'd like to find them all in these editions, hardback. So Ill Earth War is the second one. Like I say, a little bit of uneven quality to start with, but I enjoyed them. It's Holt, Reinhardt, and Winston, New York, 1977. So there's the author. And that pretty much does it for bookshelf number 2. Bookcase number 17, bookshelf number 2, part 2. Let me be more exact there. So thank you, BookTube.